I'm Tracy Pella, and this is my husband Jesse, and this is our March of Dimes story. We found out around week 16 that we were having identical twin boys. Just went in for a routine appointment at 23 weeks and 4 days, and that's when our life changed. The doctor came in and did a very quick ultrasound and said that one of the twins had a very low heart rate, and if that we wanted the boys to have a chance at life, that we had to deliver immediately. Both boys weighed less than a pound.
And when I got there, Coop he was white as a ghost. I thought for sure there's no way that he's gonna make it at all. And he started doing all right, I guess, considering. And they worked on Cohen and just kept working on, he kind of came through a little bit at first, but then he just couldn't make it, too small.
You know, they said at this time, you know, there's nothing else we can do. They let me hold him. And so we stayed in his room for a while and held him. And then it was time for us to go see Cooper.
He was stable. I mean, in a word, compared to, you know, he wasn't doing the best, but he was fighting, let's put it that way. He was fighting hard.
He was on the ventilator for several weeks. The other main concern at the beginning of his journey was he had major brain bleeds on both sides of his brain.
And eyes.
Yeah, he had eye surgery for his retinopathy of prematurity, had laser eye surgery on both eyes, and then the very end of his stay he had hernia surgery twice. Yeah. It's almost undescribable to say how it felt for him to be on my chest for that first time. And it was, I mean, it felt like it was just him and I in the room.
You get to touch him. They let you touch him a little bit because their skin is so fragile, so you don't even really get to touch him that much. And to actually be able to pick him up and hold him was one of the best days ever.
Coming home was emotional. It was
scary.
Yeah. So we had spent 134 days with doctors and nurses and medical support that we now had to go home and do ourselves. He continued to defy the odds, and with every growing day he got stronger.
It's amazing that you take a kid that was no bigger than your hand, and now he does anything a typical kid can do. You know, he has a few limitations, but he's running around. I mean, he can drive a tractor. It's just unreal to me that he can go from where he was to just doing everything that a normal kid can do. Just makes you happy, really happy.
Cooper and Cohen became big brothers in April of 2015. We were blessed with a full-term healthy little girl named Franny Dawn, and that kind of put a whole new spin on our journey. It's very important for us to talk about Cohen, you know, for us, we became parents the day that the boys were born, and so Cohen will always be our son. He will always be Cooper's twin. And so we feel it's important to keep his memory alive. We talk about him a lot. We didn't really realize that March of Dimes had such an impact on our life until after we got out of the NICU and kind of learned a little bit more about the life-saving research done by the March of Dimes. Looking back now, we know that he had a less than 1% chance of survival without a life-altering disability. And so when you're in that moment, I mean, we have each other, but we don't really understand what that looks like. And, you know, like every parent, you have dreams for your children, and, you know, it's crazy how quickly you're only pregnant for 23 weeks, but you dream of what your family will look like. This is our family today, and thanks to the March of Dimes, we have 2 healthy children here on our laps and 1 in our hearts.